On this week's episode of the Team C4G podcast, we're going to talk about YCS Anaheim, the results, top tier decks, top decks of that event, and just general shit. We're also going to talk about the top 5 decks of this format and the banlist predictions. We are Team Cowboys for Game. What's up, guys? I'm Logan, and I'm joined by Andrew.
Yeah, buddy.
And special guest, not Lachlan, Austin.
Hey, boys.
Austin, this is your first time on the podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, I've been listening for a while, so it's an honour to be on here.
Yeah, not an actual C4G member, but, you know, we couldn't get Bragg, we couldn't get Lachlan, we couldn't get Blake. So we got someone else.
A cheap replacement.
Way to make him feel special about it.
Yeah, we couldn't get any of the others, so we got you. You were not first pick, you were not second, you were fourth.
I'm the local scrub, so whenever you guys need me, I'm just there all the time.
Yeah, so look for us on social media, guys. Shut up, Andrew. Look for us on social media, guys. Facebook, Twitter, all that good jazz. And if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure to check us out, www.youtube.com/teamc4g. And lastly, email us at teamc4g@gmail.com. So, how was our week in Yu-Gi-Oh, guys?
I'll let Andrew start.
Andrew,
pretty satisfying, I guess.
Pretty satisfying.
Same old, but nothing too good. Had a good time watching the Anaheim stuff. We'll get into that later, but had a good time watching all that. So yeah. Good.
I heard you two went to Nowra on Thursday. Did you?
Yep.
You did, Andrew? How'd you go there?
No, me and Harry did. Harry did.
How'd you go there?
We ended up third and fourth. I came third, Harry came fourth, so that was okay.
Good. What did you play?
I took Blue Eyes. Harry took Toad Heroes. Toad Heroes.
Sweet. And what matches did you play there?
I'm getting almost a week ago now, trying to remember. I know my very last match was Metal Foes. The match before that was also Metal Foes. Before that was, I think it was Fluffles. No, Fluffles was the first match. Then
I know exactly who
something, and then 2 Metal Foes. There was a lot of Metal Foes. All I know is everyone is getting on Metal Foes.
Yeah, Metal Foes are getting a lot of hype recently. I'm personally going to put it out there that I think they're the best deck of the format. I have jumped from episode 12 of Meta Foes, where I said they weren't the best. I've lied. They're now the best. Austin, how did you go at locals this weekend? Did you enter or?
I didn't enter. I was too late to locals, but I did get some pretty good trades. I went up to Sydney for the day before locals, and I managed to get my second desires for my Dark Lord deck.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, but it's pretty bricky, but I'm still happy with second desires.
Yeah, gotta be happy with those pools. So with my day,
up there, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, so with my day at locals,
representing the gong.
Andrew, interrupt me again, you'll be out of here, I swear. So with my day at locals, I came third at locals in the Player of the Year qualifier. Only lost to Yangting Metal Foes with ABCs because I bricked and because he opened like God. So
blame it on your deck.
So who won that one, by the way?
So who won the tournament?
Yeah.
Jesse Carson actually won the tournament with his variant of ABCs. He ran the Empowered Engine and the Brilliant Fusion Engine all in the one deck, which was kind of, I didn't think it worked, but it somehow won him the tournament, so good for him. I played just Artifact ABC and went 4-1, only losing to Yangling Metal Foes, as I said. I beat 2 Blue Eyes, 1 Dark Magicians, and one ABC Mirror Match. So, I was pretty happy how I did against the normal meta decks, but no Metal Foes, so I don't know how I went there. But straight after the event, I traded Metal Foes for traded ABCs for Metal Foes, so pretty happy with that.
Let's go right here.
Yeah, thanks, Austin. You are a champion. So that was our day in Yu-Gi-Oh! So that was our week. Anyone have anything they're keen for this week? What are you getting up to?
Now or tomorrow?
Now or tomorrow. I expect
Pretty much
wins.
The same here.
I expect wins. So, without further ado, let's move on to our next subject, YCS Anaheim. Did anyone actually watch the event?
I watched essentially top 32 onwards. I figured that was, this kind of sounds probably a bit dicky, but I felt like that was to the point where it really mattered.
I agree. I think that's a good idea.
The true top table from top 32, so yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. I
It's good
can
stuff.
understand just watching the top three too. I think you can get some info from watching the older duels because some of those decks, you see some new decks and you see some new ideas. But theoretically, the best card's going to be played in the top three too. So why watch the scrubbier decks? And that is
Yeah,
a general
talking about
plan.
that actually, there was recently some sort of diss actor Metal Foes that I saw
Yeah.
recently. I don't know how it works exactly, but it looks. I'm gonna look into it. Apparently, they only play that level 4 one that doesn't destroy itself the first time it's destroyed.
Yeah, it's
I think the whole
interesting.
point is that it kind of functions as flush fire.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
Oh,
second
the
pop.
Abyss Actor variant. Yes, yeah, that went pretty far.
So without further ado, let's actually get into the top 32 Anaheim decks. So starting off, we had 9 ABCs. Now that's almost a third of the top 32 with ABCs. So that's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Following on from that, we had 7 pure Metal Foe decks, 5 Paleozoic builds, 3 Mermail builds, 3 Hero builds, 2 Yang Zeng builds, one being pure Yang Zengs and one being a Metal Foe variant. 2 Dark Lord decks, and 1 Blue Eyes to round off our top 32. So, besides ABC and Metal Foes taking up more than half, we actually have quite a diverse field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Despite
I'm
what
really
people
happy to
think.
see Heroes get some points up there.
Yeah, like just for a slight tangent, but kind of off topic, but not really. Like, if you compare this to any other OCG pie chart, it's a similar looking chart, but it's like this variant of Zodiac, this variant of Zodiac.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it is very nice to see a diverse range at the moment, and just let's enjoy it while it lasts.
I think this event really showed. And give me your opinions on this, but I think this event showed Tree Toad is just actually insane. Like, I think we saw
Very splashable engine in a lot of decks. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we saw a lot of people after the first YCS kind of fall off Tree Toad a little bit because they weren't really sure how well it'd go. Sorry, not YCS. First few regionals. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that'd be the main reason why Heroes and Mermails are up there, because Trito just adds so much card advantage.
Exactly, it just adds so much help, and that's exactly why Paleozoics are doing well.
Yeah, Paleozoics as well were kind of underrepresented at a lot of events, and this event they were quite well represented, and I do enjoy the fact that they made it to the top table. In fact, they made it to the very last match, the last match being Paleozoic versus ABC. So it's nice to know that despite that ruling that came out a few weeks ago about how the Paleozoics were not quite as good as everyone thought in terms of summoning, they're still obviously extremely powerful.
Yeah.
What exactly was this ruling?
That you can only chain one per card activation. So you can still do multiple in a chain, but each one has to chain directly to a trap activation. You can't chain 3 of them to one trap activation, for example.
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
But they can still do crazy stuff.
Yeah, as shown by YCS. I mean, it won it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it the one that came up against ABC?
So ABC actually won the event.
But
Paleozoics did really strong. I'm really happy to see Paleozoics in the final. I think it just shows Tree Toad's going to be relevant and people actually need to side deck for everything, not just ABC. I think from the last YCS we saw that people were heavily siding for ABC, and then they saw that it wasn't doing as well as they thought, so they didn't sideboard as much for it, and then because of that, ABC suddenly comes up again. So I think we're going to have that power struggle of, do we side too much for ABCs and then lose to other decks, or do we not side for ABCs and just lose to ABC if they go well?
True. In saying that, though, as far as their match results were concerned, I don't think it was anything to do with siding that was the issue in the final round.
True, I think Metalfoes losing 3 Dupe Frog probably has... Sorry, Paleozoics losing 3 Dupe Frogs actually has a bit of a weigh-in on them losing the finals.
Yeah, the tree toad in that particular build just absolutely lost value at that point.
I 100% agree here.
It's right up there with Hidden Kieran with Desires and such in Metal Foes.
Exactly. Like, Pot of Desires is just so... it's a very big hit and miss. Like, I rate the card a lot, but if you lose 3 Dupe Frogs like that, it's just so hard, especially in Paleozoics, to get that value back. But yeah, just like losing a Kieran and Magic Spectres, if you lose Kieran and both your fusions, you're going to have a rough time. So from this, guys, I do have a question from you guys, from the fans. We did get another email. I do forget who it is from, but you know who you are, so good for you. What do you guys believe? It says, hey guys, what do you guys believe to be the top 5 decks this format after YCS Anaheim? Do you guys believe that Blue Eyes has still been a top 5 deck, or do you think there's other decks above it? What do you think the top 5 decks are? I'll start with you, Austin. What do you think your top 5 decks are in order?
Well, definitely you have your ABCs either teetering between first with Metal Foes. Paleozoic definitely in your tier 1s. And I believe Heroes at least are a rogue deck. Blue Eyes should at least be maybe a tier 2 to 1.
Yeah, interesting.
And I'm not sure about, Yangzing Metal Foes. I'm not very sure because as far as I experience, they're much a explosive deck that relies on going first.
I agree with a lot of your
I don't know
points
about
there.
their builds, however.
Yeah, so I looked into the guys who ran the Yangling Metal Foe build. He had a lot of spice in his build. Like, he was running the Terratop engine with a red-eyed dice. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a recent very popular thing to run for Dengalong.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I really liked it. So, I might be even testing out Yangling Metal Foes in the coming future. Who knows? Jumping over to you, Andrew, what do you think the top 5 decks of this format are?
I think it goes. It's a little bit hard to pin down in some regards. Like, for example, it's hard to distinguish. I think pure Metal Foes is the strongest version, for example, but I find it hard to call Metal Foes without kind of thinking of Metal Foe Yangzings and a few others as well. But yeah, I mean, ABC obviously proved itself. So ABC has to be in the top 5. So does Metal Foes. Paleos, I guess, got proven to me that it was. Everything else is a little bit of a weird mix, in my opinion. Like, I agree with Austin. Like, Heroes are a bit of a rogue deck, so it's hard to call them in the top 1. They either blow out or they fall over. Really, like they either win first turn or they've absolutely lost. I think Blue Eyes. I think I'd agree. Blue Eyes is probably down to tier 2 now, but at the same time, it has a favorable matchup against a lot of decks. I'd have to say, I personally still think Metal Foes is the top build. I think it's the most universally strong, and it currently generally beats ABC. But yeah, that would probably be my top 5. Yeah, ABC, Metal Foes, Paleozoic, Heroes, and Blue Eyes.
Yeah, so moving on to myself, I would actually rank Metal Foes as number 1 with ABC variants at number 2, strictly because I think Metal Foes do have the better of the matchup, and I think if more Metal Foe players actually play in an event, I think you'll have just as good as tops as ABCs, because if we look at how many ABC players played in Anaheim, there was a large number of ABC players going into the event, and only 9 ABC players actually top 32, while there was a little bit lower majority with Metal Foes, so only 7 tops. I think if you gave them the same number, they'd probably get the same amount in. So I'd put Metal Foes above ABCs, but I'd put ABCs at number 2. I'd then put Dark Lord or Blue Eyes at number 3. I still think they're quite strong. I think one of them could, if built right, could definitely go into that number 3 slot. I'd then put Paleozoics at number 4, and then I'd put any rogue tree toad variants in at number 5. But that's just me, so,
Actually, just out of curiosity, I'm not saying your opinion is bad or anything, but why exactly do you think Dark Lords might be a third best deck, as opposed to maybe Heroes, which can establish better boards?
Because Christia is the worst.
Actually, if you looked at one of the builds recently, the Dark Lord that went top 32, there was 2 builds.
Yeah.
There was one that wasn't running Christia, and one of them was just running Bandits.
Yeah,
the reasoning for that was that Christia kind of bricks your hands quite a bit.
Yeah.
If the build evolves from that, do you think that ones that are running 3 Vanities might be better or worse than Heroes?
Look, Austin, I'm going to ask you that same question because you are a Dark Lord player and I am not. But no, to answer your question, I think Dark Lords are the number 3 or number 4 best deck along with Blue Eyes because I just think they have really good ability to make really good boards, and if you don't brick, they're just super strong. Very similar to Heroes if they don't brick, so maybe Heroes are in that category as well. Maybe you are correct there. But I think Dark Lords do have that ability to just put out so much good boards, and the Morningstar into Zerato play is just absolutely insane and can just destroy boards. So I really like the Dark Lord way of playing, so that's why I'd rank it at number 3. I think it's really good, along with Blue Eyes in an OTK style variant, and it can also play that Vanity's Fiend engine, which is just really strong. So yeah, that's my opinion.
And the Lord's 3.
Yeah, and the Lord's at 3, so
Oh, yeah.
Dark Lords, Darks, have fun. But yeah, so that's our top 5 decks. Tell me in the comment section, or tell us, in the comment section below what you think the top 5 decks of this format are, and tell me what you guys would like to see top the next YCS. Moving on to our next topic of today, it is actually the banlist prediction time, boys. I use Keen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, boys. So let's get your thoughts. Andrew, coming up first. What's going to be banned? What's the first card you banned?
Norton. Norton needs to go to 0.
What?
I've been thinking this for a long time. I've used him in some decks and stuff. I think he needs to go to 0. I disagree with people who say instant fusion's a problem. I think instant fusion giving you 1 free monster is fine. I think instant fusion giving you 2 free monsters is not. And the only one that gives you 2 free monsters is Norton.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit ridiculous that you don't have to have a monster. It's a spell. You don't have to use a normal summon. Just free rank 4s for days. The overextension of plays was just crazy. I mean, we all saw it at YCS in January of this year how crazy that was with Pepe. Similar kind of thing. You do a ridiculous amount of plays, and just to top it all off, let me just throw out another free rank 4 and. I think he's a bit busted. Also, especially with Zodiacs on the rise, like, in the near future, OCG had Norton banned long before they got their Zodiacs, and the thought of being able to go, oh, look, it's my 3rd turn, let me just pay 1,000, summon Norton, grab back any of my Zodiacs, and let me just slap 4 XCs on top of that one monster.
So
not exactly the best, most enticing thought.
So if you're saying pay 800 and feel great is too good for YCS, too good for Yu-Gi-Oh, and they had to hit that, why not pay 1,000 and feel great should be hit as well?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm fine with the pay 1,000 a bit. I'm just not agreeing with what it gets you.
Yeah.
If you want to get out your rare fish or your Panzer Dragon, no worries. But Norton's just a bit.
Oh, Panzer Dragon.
I also think my other argument to that is hitting it to 1 really didn't do anything. A lot of people only ever resolved 1. Like, I agree it would be even worse at 2, but in reality, people only need to get the 1 off.
Yeah.
And
I think being at 1 now
he's essentially as effective as he was at 2 or 3.
I think having it at 1 now is actually really relevant because if you had it in multiples, decks like Heroes would just be so much better because they could just constantly make more instant fusions. They wouldn't have to use their Trito effect to recycle the Norton, then play that Norton again, and then not be able to recycle it again because they only have the second Trito. They'd have to recycle that second Trito back in. So I think that's kind of prominent with the 1 Norton. But I see your point, and I understand where you're coming from. Moving on to Austin, what is the first card you ban if you're Konami?
I have no idea, actually. I haven't really been thinking about it, but just based on some community discussion recently, a lot of salt out of anti-spell fragments, actually.
Boy.
I think that's mainly pendulum players, but you have a lot of blue eyes and a lot of decks recently that are just relying on a lot of spells to establish these first turn boards.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure though, but it's 2 sides of the coin.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think anti-spells should be banned. I think we'll get to it a bit later with me where I think it should be on this list, but I don't think it should be banned. But I do think...
And I don't think it should be banned in particular, but it's just kind of based on what people have been discussing recently. It's been very controversial.
Well,
yeah, you know what? We'll have a chat about it later, but I think, Logan, you're probably in the same boat as me, thinking it should go to 1 with the same as most other floodgates.
God damn it, Andrew, stopping my foreshadowing. But yeah, so onto myself again, because I'm just always going last on these sort of things. I have no idea what I would ban, because I just came up with that idea on the spot. But what I would ban is actually quite the interesting concept of Vanity's Emptiness.
You reckon it's time for it to go to 0? Time to get out?
There was a build of Metal Foes that I versed a couple weeks back at the locals, where the guy made a board and just set Emptiness, and because he's playing Pendulums, I couldn't do a thing. Now, I'm not saying Emptiness is a too broken card, I'm just saying that boards that are made at the moment in Yu-Gi-Oh are hard enough to get over at the moment as they are. Sometimes you can't get around an Emptiness along with that. I think Emptiness might just have to go.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like, I lost one of my games to last week in Nara. It was Vanity's got flipped, didn't have an out, and just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it's a bit harder to play around than anti-spell fragrance. So that's why I would say anti-spell is alright at 1, but Vanity's Emptiness maybe
should probably at 1.
Very similar to Skill Drain. How I felt about Skill Drain during Clee format. I thought that should be banned as well because it just promoted no gameplay. But Vanity's Emptiness I actually think is just way worse at the moment, just especially with the Metal Foes variants. If you can drop a Metal Foe, a big board of Metal Foes, and then just set an Emptiness, especially in the ABC match, it's just almost impossible
You just
to win.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get extra value next turn because you pop with yours and you get to set a back row off it, plus you've switched it off.
Yeah, but then again, it is that one, so not always going to see it. But, yeah. So, anything else you guys would ban?
Well, that's the thing. Is Yu-Gi-Oh now becoming a format with that kind of stuff? And I know the shorter games, I guess in a way it is. I've kind of answered my own question, but is it becoming a format where it's just like we hit the good things to one, but now it just becomes who sees their one-offs?
Yeah.
Who sees the Kieran sooner? Who sees the Vanity's Emptiness sooner?
Yeah.
Who sees the Warning sooner?
I have seen some people trying to ask for Kieran to be banned, so that's very interesting. But
I don't believe Kieran should be banned. I believe Kieran's stupidly strong, but I believe at one is pretty fair.
yeah, I think
Like
Kieran,
your warning or strike, because they have to pendulum summon it, right?
Yeah,
So you strike it, and then it's gone forever.
I think Kieran at one's alright as well. And that's not because I play Metal Foes, that's just because I think Kieran at one's fine. But I do think maybe they should put Raccoon to 1. Because 3 Raccoon is actually insane. Because 3 Raccoon
Yeah, I mean,
allows
people
for
have been
killing.
saying that. Yeah, other people saying maybe it hurts pure magic too much. Other people says who gives a shit.
Yeah. It's that thing where...
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities. Being a Magic Spectre player myself, I can actually pretty comfortably say that like worst case is Bambuka goes to 1. I could pretty much live with that, seeing as we have Ties of the Brethren now.
Yeah, the question is, like, do Konami care about hurting Magic Spectres at this point? They've gotten their money out of them already, I feel, so I feel like...
They've never really cared about hurting the smaller decks if it means weakening the big decks. I think we've seen plenty of precedent for that.
Yeah. Do people think Pot of Desires should be hit on this ban list?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why the hell would they?
Yeah.
I kind of think it should. I don't want it to. I love running 2 in my deck, but the reason I say this, my flow of logic from this comes from what they did with Upstart.
Yeah.
They basically said we don't want people just making smaller decks where you have to run 3 of something to reduce your deck size. So Upstart went from 3 to 1. If it gets to the point where everyone has to run 2 to 3 Pot of Desires, so they're running 37 card decks again, maybe they might put it at 1.
Yeah, I was thinking 1 might be the way it gets hit, so...
Yes, but why would they do it at this point in time? I mean,
exactly.
maybe Upstart Golems, it wasn't pushing any product off the shelf or anything, but Pot of Desires, and people buying like these cases and boxes.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Austin. You make a very good point, which is exactly why we put you on this.
Or maybe that's a thing as well, if people are still buying Dark Illusion or not.
Yeah, and like I see people vying for Totally Awesome to already get hit, and I'm like, well, we only just got it released, so good luck, have fun with that. But do any of you think that Cyber Dragon Infinity or Cyber Dragon Nova should be hit at this point?
No.
No, I don't really see them doing anything at the moment.
I'm just looking through people's arguments online that are saying Cyber Dragon Infinity is broken, and I question there.
You can only make 1 per turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make once per turn. It's like it takes that many special summons to do it. Like you go, if they go Galaxy Soldier for it, you get like 4 draws to fucking get off it. Plus, also, like, I don't know if these guys haven't heard, there's these things we've had for a year called Kaijus. They say no to it.
Yeah, speaking of Kaijus.
Fucking Ras V mode, Lava Golem.
Just, like, bait it out and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, onto limited cards. Do people think Dante should be put to 1?
Yeah.
I don't think he's overpowered, but just in the sense of that deck should have been killed by now, maybe.
But my question is, we look at Anaheim now. The deck didn't even have 1 top in the Anaheim. Yes, it won the YCS before. Yes, I understand Dante is just insane. But people are learning how to play it.
Burning Abyss, by any chance?
Sorry?
Do we know how many people actually entered with Burning Abyss this event?
No, we do not. I do not have that information to the ready. But if none of them topped, I'm going to say no one good played Burning Abyss. Lol. But I don't think...
the last YCS was before Invasion of Vengeance, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, last YCS was a week before Invasion of Vengeance came out.
So the question is, has BA been officially power creeped?
Yeah, I think it has.
Probably.
I think it has. I think when it was just...
I mean, you went from a format with a lot of Blue Eyes and BAPK, and now we got 1 Blue Eyes player in the top 32 and no BAPK.
Exactly. Now, that's a good thing to bring up, Andrew. Does Blue Eyes get hit in this ban list?
Oh, good point. Yeah, well, for me, it's going to definitely help my decision along the way of what to play for YCS if we see it on the list.
Yeah.
Actually, aren't they reprinting all of the Blue Eye stuff in gold?
That's a good question.
Probably.
If they do,
I know they're reprinting some stuff.
If they
It was
do,
like the Dark Side Dimensions had an alternative in them, right?
yeah, Dark Side
Yep.
Dimensions had alternative. But what my theory is if they do print it in gold, we do see before Laval chain, it's just going to get hit straight afterwards.
Yeah, probably.
Give
True,
them money
true.
to sell product, then it's out.
Then again, they reprinted all of Cosmo. They still didn't hit that for ages.
That's very true. But I mean, Cosmo really just got power creep to when it just didn't matter to hit it anymore.
I mean, seeing how Blue Eyes went at Anaheim, I don't see them getting hit too hard. Maybe just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I think that's...
it depends on how they want to do it. If I don't think they need to. They definitely don't need to hit the deck in terms of making it balanced. The hitting of the deck will just be, we're finished with that product. Let's move people on.
Exactly, I agree. Do you see any emergency bans needing to happen like they did with Pepe at the moment? Is there any decks that's scared?
No.
No, there's nothing that people are pulling out that it's like, oh my god, that's bullshit kind of thing.
That's
like
fair.
There's boards that are being made, but they're not CDI Rafflesia 3 strike.
What are you talking about? That's a very fair game. That's a fair game. You can make it. I miss that deck.
You don't have a deck that has like 3 to 4 different cards that can all search each other out to give you the same result, like turn after turn. So that's a thing.
I think that deck was fine and balanced.
Unfortunately, Konami disagreed with you 2 weeks after release.
Yeah, Konami just I
don't see anything getting hit out of necessity. I can only see the things getting hit out of product pushing.
Yeah.
At least in regards to Blue Eyes, I believe. But when they do hit it, I think it's a few obvious hits. Like I think Melody to 1, Return of Dragon Lords to 1. Maybe Alternative to 2.
Yeah, I think Return of Dragon Lords and Melody will be the big hits. I think Alternative being at 3 is fine, because Alternative itself is not the broken card, but being able to search an Alternative with a Blue Eyes is just quite strong. So putting Melody to 1 and Return of the Dragon Lords to 1 I think would be fine. I think that's a good slap on the wrist, because then they have to play the Ancient Rules, they have to play Trade-ins, they have to play Pot of Desires. We might
you probably have to, at that point you'd have to probably put, you'd probably bump your bloody Dragon Shrines up to 3.
Yeah, you put Dragon Shrine to 3 Foolish, you might have to play like, Card of Consonance at 3 and play more of the Whitestone of Legends to get your Blue Eyes to the hand. Like you'd have to make the deck a bit more combo based.
You have to make it suboptimal to what it was. And,
a bit more combo based instead of just, hey, I have a Melody. Oh, hey, I have a ICL. I have a Whitestone. Let's go get a Blue Eye.
So do you think it would be similar to Necroz's second hit where Shrit went to 1 and other things kind of got hit to the point where the deck was definitely not what it was, but not dead?
Yeah, I agree. Took the third hit for that. At this point, does that matter? Because when we look at Necroz was a very strong deck at its time, and it was probably the best deck of that format. Let's be honest. After that first ban list, it was still the best deck. And Blue Eyes is not that. Blue Eyes is barely making the top 32 at this point now, as we see. So, does it need to be hit? That's the real question, and we're never going to know that until the ban list comes out. So.
And I think we can say with fair judgment. Does it need to be hit? Absolutely not. Will it get hit? Probably.
Yeah. Does anyone see Yang Zing's getting hit now that it's had a couple YCS tops?
Probably not.
It's probably they're still trying to push Denlong in the product of Invasion Vengeance, and in saying that, no Yang Zing's made the top 4, so they're strong, but only 2 got into the top 32. None of them made top 4.
Yeah.
So
one of them made top 15.
I think it's safe to say they're strong but not broken.
Yeah. So I just had a thought, guys. Instead of hitting Totally Awesome, because that's pushing product right now, do they hit Bahamut Shark right now?
I have heard this discussed a bit, and I think it could be a fair hit. If making Bahamut to make Tree Toad becomes the main way to do it rather than running rank 2 cards like Paleozoics, then yeah, it could be. Yeah,
because I think they want to push the Paleozoics, they want to push that product, then that's fine. Keep Tree Toad at 3, that's beautiful. Keep them with
I'd be a little bit more happy with Norden sticking around if Bahamut went to 1 or 0.
Yeah, because I think Norden, as we saw, Norden wasn't doing anything before Bahamut Tree Toad came out. It was just kind of there for decks that wanted to play a bit of rank 4 spam. like ABCs. It's really good there. But now that we have, mermaids that can play a Norton and just, get back their pike, get a discard for free that negates their effect, but they still get that discard cost. So basically they get Marksman, pop a back row, go into Bahamut Shark, go into Tree Toad, have fun.
Bahamut Shark detach Dragoons to summon Tree Toad and then get a search.
Exactly. That's
fucking
so
ridiculous.
Oh, god damn it, Andrew. We were doing so well. We could have almost had this on the Inside Good Games. We lasted 30 minutes and 50 seconds. Beat that Bragg, Blake, and Lachlan.
Oh, what was that? For what? For not swearing?
For not swearing. We lasted 30 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know we were attempting that. My bad.
I didn't know we were attempting it either. It just sort of happened.
Before we move on from that subject, I'm not sure if they would hit Bahamut Shark, though, because Bahamut Shark's kind of the thing that's pushing Tree Toads off the shelf. I mean, it just gives more decks more versatility to actually bring out Bahamut Shark, as opposed to, they would have to run the rank 2, so more people would be inclined to actually run the card.
Yeah,
and
true.
so the demand would be higher.
I think the same could have been said about Lavarval Chain, though, like in previous formats. And then they eventually get to the point where, okay, this card is the enabler, so we need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So at this point, a Bahamut Shark is not the most powerful card, but it is the enabler of the powerful plays. And that way they can be like, oh, we haven't hit any new product. Totally Awesome, still a great card. You just can't make it for free in all these decks.
And I think product would still get pushed from that set because people still want to play Paleozoics. People still want to play Tree Toad and Paleozoics. You got the frog people that want to play frogs and be cute and all that. And by cute, I mean
I'm not 100% sure on how Konami's business model works, but I would think that the majority of their product does get pushed in the first few weeks as well, and people really want to get this shit built.
Konami has a business model.
I'm sure they have some sort, right?
Yeah.
They're still around. In saying that, if we take anywhere close to our locals or surrounding areas and some international news as a kind of way to think about these things, surely they've already made huge amounts of money now as well.
Yeah.
So they're getting to the point where even if they don't hit something directly, if something does indirectly hurt the build, I think that would still be alright.
Alrighty. So our final question for the Boundless predictions that I have is kind of a joint question of two. One, do they hit Speed or a Terratop now that it's got a print in Ultimate Rare? And two, do they hit any part of Zodiacs like X-Saber Invoker or Terratop before they come out or on their release just to hurt the deck so it can't be OP like it is in the OCG? Because personally to me, I think they should. I think Terratop should get hit, but I think it should get hit because they can say, because it was too good in Burning Abyss. Use that as your excuse, and then it also hurts the Zodiacs from being too overpowered.
I think Terratops needs to go full stop, needs to go from 3 to 1 or 0.
I think
because the same way that I think Norton should go, I think having a free rank 3 or free rank 4 without using a normal summon is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, people said don't hit Terratop, hit my boy Tuckenborg. But no, don't be that person. Don't say that because you're dumb. But yeah, what do you think about Invoker being the idea of getting hit? What do you guys think of that? Hit Invoker, stop the players.
I don't see it getting hit until the deck reaches tier 0 in the TCG, where people are just topping left and right, and all the shots are just filled up with Zodiac Beasts.
But then are you encouraging the emergency ban?
I think Invoker's broken. I think it has to be the Terratops is broken.
Yeah, but then are people saying, do you just wait for it to get broken and then you just emergency ban it and make people angry that they paid hundreds, if not $1,000 on a deck that you ban in 18 days like they did with Pepe? Do you not do
the same thing, yeah?
Do you not just balance the deck out a little bit by hitting the Terratops before it, make people realize, okay, we can't play the Terratops, let's play a different engine, let's just be balanced?
That's just a question. What do they do with Pepe in the OCG, just out of curiosity?
They still have most of their shit, don't they? They just don't have a...
no, they banned the shit out of
what do they do?
They banned the Monkey Board ages ago. They banned Shockmaster as a result and a few other cards like that. They
I'm talking about Zodiac, early.
It was still out for a few weeks there, similar to ours, but I guess you could almost compare the two. It was very similar.
Yeah.
Didn't take long at all for them to ban a lot of the key cards. Except with things like Monkey Board, for example, they went straight to 0. They didn't fuck around with the one-off like we did for a while.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't mind the one-off Monkey Board, to be honest. I mean, I'm a Pepe fan through and through. I love my Pepe. Hit it again, Konami. I'm quitting your game. But
No, I think it was absolutely degenerate. Just in the sense that like you have to banish 10 cards face down to get a +1 off desires, and Monkey Board was an activate and you get a +1. Like
yeah,
same result.
but
One has to banish 10 face down, one doesn't.
But I like Monkey Board. It reminded me of Harambe.
You knew what you were getting.
Yeah. You know, they shut down Harambe. Monkey Board was only next. It was only fair Monkey Board be next.
In saying that, like they messed up that deck entirely. Like, and by messed up, I mean they made it way too good. Like when you can search for things which can search for that same thing. Like it's the sacrifice and scout loop again, right?
Yeah.
Your Monkey Board who searches for Hat Tricker, not Hat Tricker, sorry, Skullcrabat, and Skullcrabat who searches for Monkey Board. Like, you know, Konami have said in the past they don't like bad hat sticking around. So.
Very true.
Yeah.
For just a last interesting question, what do you guys think of the new Magician cards that were announced a couple of days, if not a week ago?
Ooh, what do they do?
So a lot of them are based around attack. I might go get some of them up, but
yeah, just send us a link.
There is one of them that's a level 4 dark that can basically double the attack of one of your magicians. So instead of being a lot more based around Apex Avian and all that and being control of the board and grinding, they're very straightforward. Here's a big guy.
Oh, okay.
Attack,
I thought you were talking about Dark Magicians for a second.
Double its attack. Oh, no, we're talking about Odd Eyes Magicians.
Magician, yeah, Pendulums, yeah.
Yeah. Dark Magicians
I think they're amazing.
I hate Dark Magicians. I think they're just the most boring deck to play at the moment if you're looking at a top tier deck. Like, sit there, play Pot of Duality, go get your Dark Magic Circle, play Circle, win.
I should get a play set of Typhoons just in case I do versus Dark Magicians.
Oh, man.
That's probably the win condition, right? You wait until they have both of them up and then you just play Typhoon on the bloody trap card and then.
I played a few games against their locals on the weekend, and man, it made me just want to absolutely neck myself. Like, it was the most boring game I think I ever played of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't like it. It's so boring.
Or do they just like put Dark Magician on board and just keep switching out there? Oh, I wiped all of your spells and traps. Oh, look, I just destroyed all your monsters.
He just sat there playing Quaking, and I was like, stop, neck yourself, please. I was like, just let me play my A Assault Core and go search for my B Buster Drake, please. But anyway, for our final thoughts, anyone got anything they want to say? Let's go. Well, yeah. Any thoughts? Any final thoughts, guys?
Nothing in particular.
I kind of hope to hear some news about a ban list soon.
Yeah.
So I suppose we'll come back to that. I've heard Cypher Omega to 1.
Oh yeah, very good point. Very good point, Cypher Lord Omega. Kind of similar to Blue Eyes. Do I think it's going to get a gold reprint first before they hit it?
I don't think they're going to reprint it. Honestly.
That's unfortunate. Well,
OCG's had it on for a long time, so.
Guys, let me just stop you right there. Before we do our final thoughts, we actually got to go on Yu-Gi-Oh! Prices and do the price watch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Market watch.
Time for the market watch segment. So we actually see some falling cards. Artifact Sanctum is actually dropping in price. So is Evis from Ophion. It's dropped down to $12, and Artifact Sanctum is now $11. Anyone?
My money's.
Anyone surprised in that? Anyone thinking that's not? Right?
Well, the ABC variant that won the whole thing was the Brilliant variant. So I guess people saying, "Oh, well, I guess artifacts aren't that good."
Yeah, I guess people are looking. Yeah, it was interesting because people saw the artifact top 4 for the artifact ABCs, and the last YCS and went, "Oh my gosh, artifact ABCs! You know, they're the rage. Let's go, boys!" And now they're in the Brilliant engine. It's like, well, why are we playing artifact if we can play Brilliant engine? Let's go over there. Ophion doesn't surprise me at all. I think Burning Abyss didn't do anything, so the Ophion kind of sick play with the new rank up spell. It's not doing anything. Drop it back down.
Yeah, it's been hyped up a little bit, and there's way too many outs at the moment for it.
Yeah. Tsukiyomi is dropping in price, the ultra rare. It's now only $14.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
So that's a bit
crazy.
I think
it's just people just jumping ship from ABC to Metal Foes.
Yeah.
I think despite the win, I think Metal Foes will still be the way that everyone goes.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Speaking of cards rising in price, Mithrillium has now jumped up by 2.43%, guys. Crazy. It's now $17.
But though in the last week or two, she's jumped up heaps. Went from like a $13, $14 card, now over 20 if I recall.
Yeah, it's about $20, $17 to $20. Dark Lord Zerato has increased by almost 50%. It's now $32.
Which version is this?
The secret rare. It's actually increased by 32%. It's now a $32 card if you want the secret rare.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. The ultimate rare solemn warnings increased by 30%. So that's cool. Have fun with that. And if we look at our top 100 cards at the moment in price, we have Pot of Desires is still sitting at number 1 with $106. And our Dimensional Barrier is at second place. Is anyone surprised by Dimensional Barrier still being number 2?
Oh no.
No, it's really powerful, and there's obviously hasn't been around as long as Strike has, so there's still not as many for the demand.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet.
So assuming it stays at 3 and you give it a year's time, I'd say it'll probably be the same as Strike is now. But
yeah, so actually just
you
had
it really well in Paleozoics as well. Just another note.
Yeah.
Actually, and that's another slight tangent with the bandless side of things. That's another one that people are bringing up a lot. Do you guys think Strike will get hit? To 2 or to 1 or something.
I think it might go to 1, but I don't want it to.
And if we're looking at warning.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. People are saying put 1 strike and 1 judgment back, but no, don't put judgment back.
I don't see judgment ever coming back, or at least not for a very long time. But I can see strike maybe going to 1.
Maybe with an errata of instead of pay half your life points, pay 4,000 life points.
Yeah, okay.
But then who's going to
play that? Happening.
Who's going to play that?
Then it'd continue to never see play.
Yeah. But I think 1 strike might actually not be bad, because we do see people playing 2, and people will play people played the judgment warning package when it was 1-1, so people will play the 1 strike 1 warning package. It's not like people are going to say, oh, that's fine, I'm not going to play it now.
I can see why people sometimes want it. Like, I'll admit, like, it's because Pendulum players, probably want to get around it a bit more, but it could be interesting to just be like, okay, you got to be a bit more careful about when and how you use your strikes. Because, I mean, they're already so decisive in maps. In mats, sorry.
Yeah, in maps. It's decisive in maps.
In matches. Don't mind me, just going a bit crazy here. But yeah, so it could be interesting.
But no, I agree with you completely, Andrew. I think it makes a new element to the game where you do have to think about your strike. You can't just go, oh, I opened 2 strikes and a warning. Have fun, Pendulum players. It's like, oh, I got
exactly
1
right.
strike.
Same with the metal foes now have to be like, oh, I've got the 1 Kieran. Okay, I can't lose it to strike. Kind of thing. Like,
yeah, people had to learn to adapt to 3 strike when they only had 1 Kieran. So should the people that are not playing Pendulum be like have to adapt to playing 1 strike and not having to waste it on a Kieran when they know that the opponent has like 5 monsters already in hand, which they'll just drop straight after. They have to learn how to play around baits. They can't just be like, oh, you're baiting me? I have 2 strikes. Come at me.
I can definitely see that happening to the card. I mean, if you start limiting all these power cards, which are just tilt games really fucking easily, if they're used properly, you could probably see another goat format-ish.
Yeah.
Also, Bosch is almost a year old now too, so it's well and truly within the danger zone of being hit.
Yeah, Bosch is old now. They're not going to sell that product anymore. They're not printing it, so it's fine to hit strike now. So, So any final thoughts again? Any final thoughts that weren't said before?
Anyone want to buy my strikes?
I'll give you 2 balls of Lent and this half-drunken iced tea bottle.
That's a deal.
Sweet. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Good Games Wollongong.
Yep.
There's some product placement. Give us some cash. But yeah, guys, that's about all from us here at Team C4G in this podcast. Remember, if you guys have any questions for us that you want talked about in the next podcast next week, don't forget to hit us up at email is teamc4g@gmail.com. Also, you can just put in the comments, I look there. I'm not sure if the rest of you look there. But yeah, don't forget to look out for Yu-Gi-Oh! Live if it's on this week. We'll make sure to post it up on our Facebook page, so like that. And Decks in Under 5 Minutes should be up this week. We did miss it the last few weeks, so we've been a bit busy. Some of us have school, i.e. me, who usually does it. But it'll be up this week. I'll make sure of it. So tell us what deck you want to see in Decks in Under 5 Minutes. This is Logan, Andrew, and Blake from Team C4G and
Excuse me.
Sorry. Oh gosh. This is Logan, Andrew, and Austin. So, me and Andrew.
Where did you come in?
This is Logan, Andrew from Team C4G, and Austin from wherever the heck he is from, the depths of hell. Signing out.
Goddamn scrubs.
And they don't stop coming, 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 and they don't stop and they don't stop coming 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 and they don't stop